So I've got Maureen Berry with me today, and 46 years ago, Maureen had a left metal-on-metal total hip replacement by one of my predecessors, the late Rodney Sneath, and 22 years ago, I resurfaced her right hip. And I saw Maureen a year ago, and she had some discomfort in the hip replacement side, and I was concerned on x-ray that there was the beginnings of acetabular loosening. Now, this was a cemented total hip replacement, and in truth, 46 years down the line, you would not be too surprised if there was some loosening. So I arranged to see her again today. So Maureen, how are you 1 year on?
A lot better than I was 12 months ago. I don't know quite what happened 12 months ago with a little hiccup, but Mr McMinn said to me at the time, hopefully it was going to settle itself back down, which indeed it did. And I, at the moment, am fine.
How's your activity?
It doesn't stop me from doing anything I want to do.
So you're walking? And
I'm walking. I am basically a very lazy person, so I don't walk far because I think cars are a wonderful thing. But apart from that, I'm fine. I do exactly what I want to do.
I remember filming you at your house years ago,
Yes.
and you were throwing a ball around for the dogs to chase.
Yes, I still do things like that. So
Okay.
yes.
Excellent. Now, the modern follow-up of patients with metal-on-metal is that they have to have yearly scans, MRI scans, and yearly blood tests. Tell me, over the last 46 years, how many MRI scans have you had of your hips?
None.
Excellent. And how many metal iron blood tests have you had?
To my knowledge, 2. I don't think I've had any more.
Okay. So the last one was a few years ago, and her cobalt level was 2 point something. So in other words, totally satisfactory for someone with bilateral metal-on-metal hips, 1 being a total hip replacement. Now, the thing I should explain to you is that the type of hip replacement that this lady had was a Stanmore hip replacement, and that was a monoblock femoral component. All the modern hip replacements are modular, so the head fits onto the neck cone, and that has turned out to be the weakness not only in metal-on-metal total hips, but on metal-on-poly and ceramic. That cone junction between the head and the neck is a curse, and the original total hip replacements were monoblock and didn't have any tapered junctions. So technology hadn't moved on enough to give you a problem implant 46 years ago.
Good.
Now, there are going to be lots of people out there 3 years after their metal-on-metal resurfacing or metal-on-metal total hip, and they'll have heard of metal ions. Can you tell me the problems you've had with metal ions over the last 46 years?
None.
Right, so I hope that will be good reassurance for thousands of people out there who are sitting petrified by doctors, frankly, who terrorize patients to come and have all these wretched tests. And here you can see a lady 46 years out. She's had 2 metal iron blood tests in her life. She's not had a single MRI scan. We have a year ago and today done an ultrasound scan, and there's no fluid or any soft tissue disturbance in either hip. So there is an easier way to follow patients up that is a lot kinder. But you need to know that the natural history of these metal-on-metal joints is pretty benign.
I would also like to say that, quite honestly, without my metal-on-metal hip 46 years ago, my life would have been very much different.
How badly affected were you before you had that?
If I went to the toilet, it would dislocate. It stopped me doing anything I wanted to do. I was quite a big tennis player at the time, and I stopped playing tennis. I probably would not have been able to have the 2 children that I've had, now 4 grandchildren on top of that, but so my life would have been totally different.
I should explain for the viewers that you had congenital dislocation of your hip.
Yes.
It wasn't bog standard osteoarthritis. You had
No.
bog standard osteoarthritis in your right hip that I resurfaced, even though it was a bit dysplastic. But on the left side,
I actually had no hip socket.
Yeah.
I had osteomyelitis in it as well when I was born.
boy,
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that one.
Yeah. So I did very well till I was 23, quite honestly, with the hip that I had. But as I say, at 23, it just sort of gave up on me completely and was just sliding apart.